What a mouth-watering clash we have on our hands. World number 4, Arjun Erigaisi, is there on your screen playing with the white pieces against none other than world number 6, Nodirbek Abdusattorov. This is the clash of two of the biggest talents in the world of chess. Arjun Erigaisi needs to win this tournament in order to keep his FIDE circuit chances alive, to get to the candidates, and this game is so critical. You have Nodirbek coming in, shaking hands, both of them absolutely fearless. And when they clash against each other, it's a clash of two uncompromising players. Both want to win, both want to give it their best. And that is why I'm so excited for this game to begin. You can see Arjun, how calm and stoic he is. Nodirbek also full of confidence and adjusting his pieces. He has been the world rapid champion before, and we are about to begin. Shake of hands and off we go. Arjun opens the game with 1 d4 and knight comes out to f6. Pawn pushes forward to c4. We have g6 on the board. Knight to c3. And Nodirbek is happy with the King's Indian defense. That is a risky opening to play, and that too against Arjun Erigaisi. Is it a smart choice? Is it something that Nodirbek will regret? Let's see. Castles, bishop g5. This is known as the Averbach variation in the King's Indian. And he pushes his pawn to d5. Notice how Arjun has kept his knight on g1 for the time being. e6 is played. Now the knight comes out to f3 and h6, asking a question to the bishop. You can drop it back to h4, but Arjun comes here on e3. Knight g4 is a possibility, but then the bishop will simply drop back. So he goes e takes d5 and Arjun takes it back with the c pawn, creating this imbalance which is very similar to a Benoni structure. Knight a6 played. He wants to go knight c7, bishop d7 and play for queenside expansion with b5. So Arjun now takes his time and plays knight to d2, a very typical maneuver. The knight is going to c4, from where it will support the expansion in the center, and also look at the d6 pawn, which is slightly weak. Knight c7 played and Arjun quickly castles it out. Now b5 is a possibility because the e4 pawn would be hanging, but he goes rook e8 and Arjun defends it with his queen. Pawn to b6. Maybe he's trying to exchange of the bishops there with bishop a6. Arjun goes rook e1, rook to b8 played, angling for b5 and a4, stopping that. But Nodirbek is like, thank you so much Arjun for giving me the b4 square. My knight is now going to jump in there. So very strategic battle, fight for squares, weaknesses is going on. Knight a2, stopping the knight from coming there. And he goes knight g4, attacking the bishop. Arjun takes, Nodirbek takes back. Now black has the bishop pair, but Arjun has superiorly placed pieces. First f3, solidifying the structure here in the center. Nodirbek has to go back with his bishop and he goes back to d7. And now Arjun can jump in with his knight, attacking the d6 pawn. He does it. Knight c4 is on the board. Queen to f6, looking at the b2 pawn. And now Arjun finally comes back with his knight on c3. Nodirbek could have jumped to b4, but he goes back to c7. He's looking for this b5 break. That is his plan. Queen d2 played by Arjun, attacking the h6 pawn. You have to be careful there as Nodirbek. But he isn't careful. He goes b5 and he's like, if you take here, I'm ready to take. I'm ready to give up material. But e5, Arjun goes even stronger in the center. Pawn takes pawn. Is that a pawn sacrifice? What is Arjun's plan here? Why did he give up the pawn? Well, it is a square clearance sacrifice. The knight gets the e4 square, and what a beautiful knight this is, attacking the queen. The queen moves to h4, but now the d6 square is weak and the knight jumps in there What a play by Arjun Erigaisi, masterful. Rook d8 attacking the rook here, and now the b5 pawn can be taken, but he takes the c5 pawn, which is also a great decision. Nodirbek may want to consider pushing f5 in the position here, but he goes b takes a4. He opens up the rook along the b file. The problem is his bishop is now blocked. He would have loved to keep it open, but it's so complicated. Bishop takes a7. The material balance is restored, but white pieces clearly look dominating. Look at the knights. Look at the bishop here. The queen and the rook are creating some play, and now knight c5 could be one idea to kick the rook away. Bishop f2. He can drop back to attack the queen. He plays knight to c5. He attacks the rook, also the pawn, also the bishop. Nodirbek now has to decide what to do here. Maybe there's this move queen b4, tricky move to save himself there. But he comes back rook b4 here. And now Arjun, can he play his knight to b7, attacking the d7 bishop? Too many possibilities. He just takes on d7. He simply takes the bishop. And Nodirbek takes back. Rook takes d7, attacking the knight. And what is Arjun's plan? He goes g3. And now if the queen goes back to e7, then the rook is hanging. So you need to keep the rook under control. So he goes rook d4. Bishop takes. He sacrifices an exchange there. Trade of queens has happened. White is an exchange up, but Nodirbek feels that his chance is the best now in the game because he takes a pawn. He now has a pawn. His d pawn is strong, but Arjun takes back the pawn, and Arjun is like, Nodirbek, you have no compensation. My b pawn is absolutely amazing. So fight of ideas. Rook d1, stopping the d pawn in its tracks. This game does remind us a bit of Hans versus Hikaru game, where Hans's d pawn was super strong. King g2. I like how Arjun is calmly playing this position. He has 1 minute 12 seconds. Nodirbek has more time on the clock, but clearly the position is in Arjun's favor. He starts pushing his pawns here. b4 is on the board. He goes rook c8, attacking the knight here, and it's time to push even further ahead. b5 is coming through now. He pushes forward. b5 is on the board. Fantastic play. Knight to c5 played by Nodirbek. And rook to b4. b6, b7 is incoming. Bishop goes to f8, eyeing the rook on b4. And Arjun's pawn just can't be stopped. b6. The rook comes forward. But hey, is b7 possible? No. If b7, he'll take it. He goes knight a5. Rook comes to e6. And it's time to push even further ahead. Check to the king. You can go to h3 as well, but he prefers going to f1. Nodirbek takes the pawn. And if you queen, it seems like a fine move. No problem. There's a check coming in. And you can see Arjun picking up the queen there, but then deciding against it. Knight takes b7 played. And rook takes b7. He goes rook a2, but he's now a complete rook up. Knight to b3, and Nodirbek Abdusattorov can resign this position with a clear conscience here. He has been outplayed by Arjun Erigaisi here. Fantastic game between both these players. Arjun showed his class for sure here. He attacked with great energy, and in the complications that arose, his position was much more superior. He keeps his chances alive of winning the World Rapid Championships 2024.